TC.
All right. Well, I don't know what TC thinks of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but I would be curious to know what you think about this movie. I have only seen it one time and it has been a minute, and you just rewatched it. So I will let you lead this conversation.
I really like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I this is the first time I've watched it fully actually because I used to not like the film because of there's a couple of scenes that are super graphic and gross, and I used to stop after that scene being like I can't watch this. This is fucked. So I watched it full circle. It's great. I think Daniel Craig's awesome in this, and it really shows why they picked him to be Knives Out because it's very much like he's a great detective. He's
Mhm.
so believable as a great detective. Rooney Mara eats in this fucking movie. She's spectacular. Everything that she does, and I saw that there was like a bunch of she beat out Anne Hathaway and Jennifer Lawrence for this role. I could not imagine Anne Hathaway in this role.
No. I think she has the perfect look for that character. The way her like I don't know how to explain it, but the way that her face and like eyes and kind of like that sunken look that she kind of has in her eyes with this character, I feel like she just has the right look and the right aesthetic. And obviously her acting is fantastic. But I just I can't picture anybody else having I know it's easy to say once you've seen the movie, but I actually think you're right. Like I really think that she was the perfect person to play that part.
Yeah, Rooney Mara is a completely underrated actress. We talked about this during the week. Ghost Story. She's brilliant in Ghost Story. But yeah,
Hmm.
the whole film. I really wish that there was a franchise. I know that they did Girl Stuck in the Spider's Web, whatever, with Claire Foy. Wasn't good. I really wish they continued with Rooney Mara. And I feel like she wanted to, but I don't know, it fell apart. I really
Hmm.
like this movie. I think it's really well done. It's a short, contained mystery. It feels like three movies in one, and I mean that in the best way possible. That
Yeah, there's a lot of layers going on.
for sure, you've got the whole Rooney Mara story of everything that's happening in her life. You've got
Hmm.
the whole everything that's happening in Daniel Craig's life, and then you got this whole anti-Semitic sort of. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
bumped my mic. Like this whole like Nazi sort of situation mystery that's happening in this village in town, which is awesome. This movie is so tense, and you kind of understand what direction it's going to about like halfway through, but you kind of just refuse to kind of see it until everything kind of eventuates. The ending's so good of what officially happens to the person that did it. I'm going to spoil it. You've seen it, just not for a while, right?
I have, but I need to rewatch it, so
Okay,
I'd prefer maybe
yeah, I won't
no
say what.
spoilers.
I won't say what. I won't say what. It's really good. There's a couple of camera angles that like I was just like, that's fucking sick. But yeah, I think the dynamic between Rooney Mara and Daniel Craig is awesome, and it's really well done for a mystery like this because you can see that they both
Hmm.
have because she's an investigative journalist basically. Well, she's a hacker, but like
Yeah.
they call her an investigative journalist
Yeah.
where and he's just much more of like an interviewer. So those two different methods of investigating a mystery just combine so well. I found
Well, they're both important for very different reasons.
big
And I
time.
think, yeah, together they can really piece together the right information. I do remember this movie feeling a bit slow at points. And
It
I think
is
that
for
was part
sure.
of why I didn't like love it. So I didn't want to like immediately rewatch it. And like you mentioned earlier, there are some really difficult, dark moments. And I have mentioned this to you before, but I really struggle in movies to watch stuff that's really uncomfy,
Yeah,
especially the older I get. So I have been a little bit nervous to rewatch this one because I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through some of those moments. And so that does take me out of it. And so for movies like this, it is hard for me to like really truly love them just for that reason. And it's not even really a fair reason. It's just me.
yeah,
I think it's still good. I think it's a solid movie, but it's just not one that I felt like I could connect to. So I didn't really have that immediate like, oh, I want to go revisit this, soon kind
yeah,
of feeling. But I will at some point, and I do think that I remember it having a really solid story. It had good chemistry, the two of them.
yeah. No, it's really good, and this idea is like if anyone hasn't seen it, this whole idea is about this disgraced journalist played by Daniel Craig, and he's basically hired by this person on this like remote island community to kind of solve this 40-year-old mystery. And I love. I've said this a couple times in terms of thrillers. I love a closed setting thriller, and the idea that they basically just take a whole world issue and then just seclude it to this one little community, I think is a great idea. I know this is based
Yeah.
on a book series and everything like that, so I'm not putting this wholeheartedly on David Fincher, but I think he was the perfect person to kind of do this for sure.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that 100%. And this was kind of, I think was the first like full on book adaptation he did. I know he did some graphic novel adaptations.